The Secondary Principals Association is considering legal action over the Ministry of Education's new guidelines that will determine whether schools are deemed open for teaching. The Ministry has warned schools they would not be considered open if only some year groups were present or they were only providing supervision. So from next year, the rules around schools being considered open will be based on half days, which are periods of 2 hours or more. Schools will have to be open for 1 half day before noon and 1 half day after noon for every day of the school term. Primary schools must be open for at least 382 half days and secondary schools for at least 376 half days. Well, earlier I spoke to Secondary Principals Association President and Principal of Kaitaia College, Louise Anaru, and began by asking if these guidelines are about making teachers and schools more accountable.
I think the issue is that the Ministry's interpretation of open for instruction has changed so much that it's no longer possible for secondary schools to implement.
So what impact, if these new guidelines come into play, what impact will they have on secondary schools?
Legal opinion and spans agree. There'll be a number of situations where secondary schools are not considered open for instruction. For example, a senior study leave over the exam period, staggered starts for certain year levels to receive specific instruction and transition, and we wouldn't be able to meet our moral or legal obligations to give effect to te tiriti in welcoming our new students, year 9s for example, through pōhiri at the beginning of the year.
Okay, so what will you and all of the secondary principals across New Zealand do if the Ministry decides that it is not going to back down on this later in the year?
So Spans, we will talk with our members, we'll seek advice from them, and then we will meet as an executive and take action from there.
Are you hearing from parents a similar sentiment to what the Ministry is saying? Are parents wanting more time in class with their children and less time on these other things that you're talking about?
Schools and parents want the same thing. We want the very best learning for our students, and we want to ensure that we are open for instruction. It's the new guidelines that mean that it's no longer feasible or best practice to do so.
Okay, and as the President of the Secondary Principals Association, what's your message today to the Ministry of Education?
Let's work together on this. We really need to get this right for our students and our schools.